What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Cincinnati. We've got a big day today. We've got the day session's big. The night session's a little bit average, to be honest, which is a little bit of a shame. It's not the craziest night session. Maybe Shelton Lehechka's pretty crazy, but we started with Coco first thing in the morning. I don't know. Again, it's I kind of get why they have this schedule, but it's also weird that that Coco's playing at 11 a.m. on a Thursday. It's weird. It's the marquee player for the tournament, and she's playing at the worst, like the weirdest time, like lunchtime on a Thursday. But that's because that's how these tournaments end up being. They have weird schedules, because I think tomorrow Gauff's got to play a quarterfinal as well, so that's why they're playing first thing today. So then tomorrow, the winner of this match, if Gauff does win, winner of this match can be ready for tomorrow's match. So I think that's why she's playing so early. Same with Krejcikova, Paolini, because both of them, the winners of this, will play the winner of Paolini and Krejcikova, who are coming up straight away after this. So again, the two best matches of the day are first matches of the day, forced because of the scheduling of this 10-day, 11-day thing. So let's see what happens. We've got Sinner coming up later as well. Rune plays later. Unfortunately, we can't watch Rune because I have to go to the doctor. But hopefully, Rune Sinner wins, so we get that matchup in the matches going forward. The quarterfinals on semi-finals on Friday. I can't remember. Men's quarterfinals happening same day as the women's round of 16. Yeah. Yep. That's the way these things happen. Usually it's the other way around. Usually the ladies are further ahead than the men. Usually it's the ladies that are further. But I think that is, yeah. It is strange that all the 1000s seem to have a different schedule. Does anyone else think that's kind of weird? Like, it feels like last week in Canada we had a different schedule to this schedule, and then Indian Wells and Miami are different, and then Madrid's different, and like they're not the same. I think it would be much easier if all the 1000s were sort of at least have a similar. The 2-week 1000s had a similar, at least not a similar schedule like Monday to Sunday or whatever, but like kind of be nice to at least know when, like, on day 7 we have this is happening. A little bit of consistency, because it's very confusing how these things go, but probably just better to go back to 1 week, right? There was 9 minutes before I started bitching about 2-week Masters. All right, Gauff serving. I've got Gauff in straights, but Bronzetti's been good this week, and Gauff was good in her last match, in a previous match, and then got a walkover against Yastremska. So Gauff hasn't played for like 3 days. So let's see how she looks. Hey, Deb, thanks for the 43 months. All right, love 15. First point goes to Bronzetti. What do you expect from FAA Sinner? I think Sinner in 3. I think Sinner in straights. The head-to-head doesn't matter. Double fault Gauff, love 30. Love 30. As Gauff hits a nice serve out wide this time, and it's 15-30. Did you see that the umpire asked Alcaraz to hide the logo on his bottle? Really? Yeah, there must be, because there's like a water sponsor from on the tournament, so that happens. That happens. That happens. If there's like a sponsor, like a water bottle sponsor for the tournament, they don't like the players using their own stuff. As the backhand goes in the net from Bronzetti, 30 all. Top half is stacked, bottom half is a bit open. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the bottom half definitely open because of all the qualies and unseeded players coming through. As the return goes back into Gauff. Bronzetti backhand into the slice of Coco. Bronzetti forward to the forward of Gauff. Great shot from Gauff. And it's 40-30. 40-30. I really hope that tomorrow I don't have to wake up at 12:30 a.m. Please, can I wake up a little bit later tomorrow? Can we start at 3 a.m. tomorrow, chat? Is that okay? I think it will, right? Because there's only 4 matches tomorrow, I think. So it might start middle of like 1 p.m. That'd be nice. Be nice. 40-30. I don't ask much. Just please. Just a couple extra hours, please. Just please. Just tomorrow, please. This US Open series is always brutal. My sleep schedule is always the worst at this time. 40-30. There's a forehand now from Gauff. Into the back of Bronzetti. Gauff with the forehand. Into the slice of Bronzetti again. As Gauff hits in the net. And we get the deuce. Good rally up until the error. Why do they put Gauff at 11 a.m.? Because Gauff has to play tomorrow. And they want to give her... If they put her on at night, then they put her in the afternoon tomorrow, she won't have enough time to recover. So they want to give everybody a fair chance. So that's why they put Krejcikova and Palini on today as well. I mean, both those matches should be a night match, right? They're both the best matches. Well, Gauff's the marquee player, but because of the scheduling, they have to put Gauff on now so that way tomorrow she can be as fresh as possible. She might play tomorrow night because I think after tomorrow she'll play and then she'll have a day off, but it's just the scheduling. They just got to kind of cater for make sure the players get the most time to recover. That's the only thing that's the reason. That's what I think anyway. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems to be the only reasoning. Otherwise, I'm sure they'd love to put Coco on at night, every night. You know, she's the best player in the tournament from America. Just a few weeks before Savage o'clock for us, Deb. Don't start. Don't you start. I'm too tired to hear about the Asian swing. Please don't complain about time zones right now. Twice a year. I wish twice a year I'd have to wake up at twice a year. Twice a year I get to wake up at a normal time. Yay. Nardi withdrew next week. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, he played so well this week. Why bother? Doesn't need to play next week. Let me have a look what's happening tomorrow. So tomorrow, God, the schedule's so messy. So tomorrow we're gonna have so Shelton Lehechka, winner plays Zverev tomorrow. Rublev Alcaraz tomorrow. Sinner FAA. So Sinner Runa, if they both win, will play on. Do they play? What's today? Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. So they must play Saturday. Oh yeah, because the finals on Monday, right? So they'll play Saturday. I think Saturday semis, and then Sunday. one of the finals, and then Monday, one of the finals. I don't know what order that is, but yeah. I forgot they play on Monday. Monday final. Perfectly non-confusing. 15:30, and then tomorrow it'll be Gauff and whoever she plays, and Lynette, Kudermetova, Seidel, Gracheva, the winners of those matches play. But that means Swiatek, Sabalenka, Raducanu. Wait, hang on. Does that mean that tomorrow at the quarterfinals, all the ladies play at the same time in the quarterfinals? Is that how it works? Because Swiatek, Kalinskaya, Raducanu, and Sabalenka have to play tomorrow. Does that mean all the quarterfinals are tomorrow for the ladies? Oh god, this tournament is getting very hard to understand. Is that true? Is that right? Is that right? Anyways, 15:40, Gauff with break points. They do? Okay. Well, if it makes sense that Gauff's playing at 11 a.m., then they must be all playing tomorrow. The ladies' quarterfinals are all tomorrow then. All right. So tomorrow's a big day. We got 2 semi-finals, 4 quarterfinals, and then as Gauff hits it back at Witter, she breaks 2-love. And then it's going to be semi-finals on Saturday, and then they split the finals up over 2 days, I think. I think the men's finals on Sunday, women's finals on Monday. I think they've kind of flipped it. Again, I don't know why, but that's just the way they do things. Things are always... Tennis is such a confusing sport, Chad. Even for us even for the hardcore fans, do you find... I find it very unnecessarily complicated. I feel like it's a very... Yeah. It's hard to keep track of what's going on. So we're out of touch with tennis right now. Hey, Chris, welcome back. Well, Shelton won last week, and Mboko is a new up-and-coming superstar. Osaka's in some form. That's about it, really. You haven't missed much. According to Google, both finals on Monday. Well, Google's wrong, so... But usually Google's wrong. Google usually doesn't know until the tournament tells us when the finals are. You can't rely on Google for a schedule. That's the first rule. 30-love. The Cincinnati website has it both fine. Okay, maybe Google's right then. So wait, so how does that work? So tomorrow's Friday, right? 40-love. So tomorrow's Friday. So we've got... Let's go to the website. Hang on. So what's tomorrow then? So tomorrow we've got... Wait, the men's semi's not tomorrow. Is it just quarterfinal, ladies quarterfinal day tomorrow? That makes no sense. 40-15. Gauff trying to get to 3-love. She serves a fault second serve. Oh no, so tomorrow ATP quarterfinals and WTA quarterfinals. Okay, so all the quarterfinals for the ladies tomorrow. Gauff holds 3-love. And then Saturday is men's semi-final day, Sunday is women's semi-final day, and then Monday is the final. So I like that. I don't know if I like that order. I think the women's match is always a first, but they've flipped that. But I like that both finals are on Monday, though. That's good. That's good. Like Indian Wells. The thing that messes us up is that fourth round. That round of 16, that middle That's the problem. You get rid of that, and then you can actually space things out a lot better. Like, it's one too many rounds for they don't have enough days. 10 days to fit 7 rounds effectively. That's you can't do that. It's hard. It's too hard. If you get rid of the round, like if you get rid of one of the rounds, like you get rid of a round, then it makes it a lot easier to kind of breathe. But I like that. Semi-finals one day, semi-finals day 2, and then everyone plays finals on Monday. Like finals on the same time. I like that. The weekend's gonna be good. That's a good schedule. That's good. Just today and tomorrow's confusing. But it will get better, which is good. Yeah, Monday final. Surely they make $0 from that, right? Like, the only way we're going to go back to a 1 week is if the finals make, like, nobody shows up. Because everyone's got to go to work like normal people. Sheldon hasn't even played his round of 16 yet. Yeah, he plays today. He's the only one that, because I think that there was a rain. Was the rain delay the reason why he got his match pushed one day? So that didn't help. I think that he's the only one that hasn't on the men's side that hasn't caught up yet. But I think it's because his match against Batista Agut was delayed. I think was pushed a day, so they're kind of trying to work that out. Also, he played he did well last week, so I think they gave him some like extra time. Maybe I can't remember. I cannot recall. All right, 30-15, Bronzetti trying to get on the board here. Both Canada and Cincinnati stands look emptier this year. More days can mean less sales spread out more, not masses more sales. Yeah. Look, every day we watch these Masters 1000s that are 2 weeks. I tell you what I think. I say the same thing every day. But I don't say anything that like no one else is saying. I think a lot of people are saying the same thing, right? Where a lot of us are on the same page that we think these don't make sense. They're just kind of a little bit too much. Trying to do too much. Overcomplicating things for some reason. All right. Bronzetti wins the first point, love 15. Hey, Chris, thanks for the 30 months. As Gauff hits it out on the forehand, it's love 30. Chance to break back. I'm headed to the third round of the US Open. Hey, enjoy that. Enjoy that. All right. I feel like FAA versus Sinner could be interesting, especially with a 2-0 head-to-head. Maybe. All right, love 40, double fault from Gauff. Bronzetti get back on serve. All right, love 40. And Bronzetti in the net on the return. 15-40. As the return goes in there again from Bronzetti. 30-40. As return goes back in of Gauff. Slice from Bronzetti into the slice of Gauff. Bronzetti with the forehand as Gauff goes on the stretch with the forehand. Again to the forehand of Bronzetti. As they go forehand to forehand. Gauff again to the forehand of Bronzetti into the backhand of Gauff. Bronzetti backhand into the Gauff forehand. Gauff hits it wide. We're back on serve. All right, 3-2. Bronzetti breaks. We're back on serve. I feel that the Cincinnati finalists will skip the US Open mixed doubles. Yeah, Sabalenka was saying that she probably wasn't going to play the mixed doubles because she was because she was supposed to be with Dimitrov, and if he doesn't play, she's like, I'm not playing with anybody else. So that's nice of her to be loyal. But yeah, the mixed doubles start on... Do they start on Tuesday? I think they start Tuesday, right? So if you win Cincinnati, you got to play the next day in the mixed doubles, right? So yeah. And I mean, if Sinner and Alcaraz play an epic final, to be honest, Sinner doesn't have to play the mixed doubles. Alcaraz has to play. He has no choice. Alcaraz has to play because he is basically the face of that tournament. Like, let's be real. Raducanu, Alcaraz, they are the reason why that tournament is getting as much publicity as it is. In fact, some people don't even think there's anyone else playing. They think it's just those two just going to give them the trophy without even playing a match. You know, it's like they're the mixed doubles. So they have to play. They've unless something happens, right, an injury, but Alcaraz and Raducanu, they have no choice. They have to play. But I think Sinner Navarro, right? I think Sinner, if he does play a tough final, or he wins the tournament, this week, and he probably won't play. I don't think Sinner would play. I could see Sinner withdrawing. Yeah. Hey, Suzanne, thank you for the tier 3, 12 months as a tier 3 legend. Thank you for being a legend. Appreciate it. 15 love. Coco's not playing mixed doubles. Yeah, she wasn't even included at the start. Or she didn't commit to it. They would have asked her 100%, but yeah, she was never a part of it. Probably on purpose, right? So she could focus on winning the singles, which is obviously a big deal. And that's the thing. Like, for the first one for this year, also, like, it's gonna, like, a lot of people are gonna commit to it because it's a new thing and it's interesting. But how many players are gonna play next year if it's the same thing, right? how many players are gonna? Because it's gonna depend on how. It's gonna depend on how those players who do play it perform at the US Open singles, right? If the players that play the mixed doubles then go on and don't play well at the singles, they might go, maybe I need a week off before that, That'll be interesting. Why does Carlos have to play? Because they've promoted this mixed doubles around him. Like, he is the guy that, like, him and Raducanu have been, like, did you not watch Wimbledon? The whole Wimbledon, they were just, like, taking photos of him, doing interviews with him. Like, they were just like, Raducanu, Alcaraz, they're playing mixed doubles. Like, it's the only, like, they're the faces of the mixed doubles. So Alcaraz, if he pulls out, unless he's injured, they've completely, like, everything they worked hard on to make this mixed doubles, thing, legitimate, as legitimate as they can. It's gone, right? I mean, then they got to promote other. They've only been promoting them. I mean, yeah, they've said, Sinner's playing too, right? Or we've got Tiafoe and Shelton and Gauff, not Gauff, Pegula, but they've been promoting it as Raducanu, Alcaraz for the whole time. Ever since the listed players came out. So they put all their marketing budget into them. So if they have to play, they have to play. Otherwise, people are going to go, well, I only wanted to watch them. Because I think a lot of people are only going to watch it because of them. Because of all these crazy things flying around. Anyways, deuce. Forehand goes long by Bronzetti, and it's advantage Gauff to get the break again. Advantage Gauff. Advantage Gauff. As Bronzetti says a fault. It was a rhetorical question. Well, then why'd you... Don't ask me rhetorical questions. If you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. As we get a forehand now from Gauff. Up goes a lob by Bronzetti. Gauff puts away the smash, all right. Okay. All right. Has Draper still not found a partner? No, he withdrew because he's injured. I don't think it was Draper trying to find, like, he's Zhang withdrew, but then also Draper has withdrawn. Like, both of them were like, I can't play. Like, Draper might not even play the singles, So I'm just having a look. They haven't. This is so. When are they going to commit to the teams though? Because they haven't even announced like who is actually playing. When's the draw come out? It must come out soon, right? Because it starts in like a couple of days. I'm just looking. So Medvedev, Andreeva. I mean, they'll play. I think so. I think Andreeva didn't play this week out of just in case. Yeah, if Sinner wins this tournament, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he withdrew, but Kyrgios and Osaka, I think they'll play. I think Keegs will play, even though he's injured. And then there's a lot of doubles. See, the thing is, chat, I guess they don't really have to worry about people withdrawing 40 love, because at the end of the day, if the superstar, the superstar singles teams, if they withdraw, they have so many doubles players that are just going to be sitting there that aren't going to be, don't get to play, right? They can just be like, all right, let's just call up a doubles team. Like, they have so many doubles play. It's not really about Draper replacing Zhang and getting someone else. They could just go, you know what? Let's just get a doubles team, because there's so many doubles teams that will just jump at the chance because they've been sort of, left alone, right? They've been kind of kicked out. So it doesn't really matter. They don't have to replace Sinner Navarro if that happens. They don't have to replace them with another singles team. They can just call up any doubles team. There's so many doubles players that are not going to be playing this event because of it being a different type of tournament now. They could just call up any doubles team from like the real doubles, right? Like the actual doubles players. There's just a whole list of them. They can call up the Aussies, right? There's so many Australian doubles players out there. There's just so many players they could. So they're not going to be short of replacements if they need them. It kind of sucks though for the doubles. That they're sort of left to be the reserves. Oh, was Draper playing with Badosa? I thought Tsitsipas was playing with Badosa. Wasn't it Tsitsipas, Badosa, Draper versus Draper? Sorry, Tsitsipas, Badosa, Draper, Zhang, and then Tsitsipas and Zhang pulled out, and then Badosa and Draper teamed up, but then Badosa withdrew. Was that how it went? Yeah. So it was supposed to be Zhang versus Draper, right? And then Badosa kind of came in for 2 seconds, but then she withdrew. So, and then Dimitrov withdrew, so Sabalenka's like, I'm not playing. But again, like they'll be able to field teams because there's so many doubles teams that are just hanging out. $260K. Hey, we got the 260. Let's go. Damn. We just hit 250 like a month ago. Hell yeah. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Thanks to all the new people that are here as well. Thank you for subscribing. We are now closer to 500,000 than we are to 0. So let's go. That's crazy. 260. What the hell? That's not even a real number, is it? All right. Love 15. Gauff with the 5-2 lead. As Gauff hits another great shot. Love 30. Love 30. Chance for Coco to take the set. All right. Good ace from Bronzetti, 15-30. You a tennis guy? Didn't you see the team they put out? Only 2 wildcard spots left, and Nick Osaka didn't get in. Trishan, what? What are you coming at me for? It's because I said Raducanu is the face of the tournament and you got shitty... Come on, calm down. Anyways, forehand from Gauff into the forehand of Bronzetti. Is Gauff forehand into the backhand of Bronzetti. Gauff for the forehand again. The forehand of Bronzetti is Gauff. Inside out backhand, too strong. That's 15-40. Gauff for 2 set points. Thank you, Bailey. Appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. All right, 15-40. Set points for Gauff. As Bronzetti hits a great serve out wide, Gauff gets it back. As Bronzetti backhand at the backhand of Gauff into the forehand of Bronzetti. Gauff the forehand into the backhand again of Bronzetti. Forehand from Gauff again to the backhand of Bronzetti as Gauff hits a drop shot, but it's in the net. 30-40. 30-40. Set point number 2. As Gauff hits a return out, and we get the deuce. We get a fault second serve. As the return goes back into Bronzetti. But Bronzetti hits it long. And it's advantage Gauff. Osaka and Kyrgios are not on the list, right? They're not in the main. I'll tell you the list after this. Advantage Gauff. There's a default second serve. As the return goes back into Gauff. Great shot. As we just slice Bronzetti. Gauff comes in with a forehand. Puts it away. Coco first set. 6-2. All right. So the only teams that are confirmed right now, we've got Sinner Navarro, Swiatek Ruud, Fritz Rybakina, Anisimova Runa, Bencic Zverev, Pegula Paul, Andreeva Medvedev. Why is Raducanu not on that list? Following teams received direct entry. Hang on, then where the hell is Raducanu and Alcaraz? Oh, okay, and then there was wild cards. So you got Djokovic, Danilovic, Vavasori, Irani, Tiafoe, Keys, Alcaraz, Raducanu, Shelton, Townsend, and Williams and Opelka. So there's 16 teams. So 26 teams enter the tournament. 16 will be accepted into the draw. Gauff, by the way, 10 winners, 10 errors. Only the 2 double faults. Bronzetti, 3 winners and 6 errors. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 based on ranking. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's only 3 spots left, right? You've got, and it's out of these teams. So you've got Musetti Paolini, Rublev versus Mukova, Demonor versus Demonor Balta, Kyrgios Osaka, Jovic Brooksby, Auger-Aliassime Dabrowski, Scherz and Griekspoor, Aravallo and Siniakova, Zielinski and Shea, and Krovchek and King. So there's a lot of doubles names in there as well, which is nice. If I had to guess the 3 teams that they want, Kyrgios, Osaka is definitely on that list. They definitely want them to play. Because there's one direct entries like based ranking. So Paolini and Musetti will qualify because they're both in the top 10 and their ranking's higher than combined than anybody else. So they will get direct entry if they want to play. I don't know I guess they're waiting for Paolini to see how she does this week, whether or not she wants to commit to it. Because remember, Paolini also plays doubles and does well in doubles. So does she want to play mixed doubles? Let's say Paolini gets to the final of Cincinnati, then play mixed doubles, then play doubles and singles at the US Open. That's a lot of tennis with Paolini. So maybe they're waiting to see whether or not she wants to commit to the mixed doubles with Musetti and Musetti as well, right? So I would say that, let's just say she says yes, they get in. Kyrgios Osaka, if Kyrgios is healthy, they'll definitely play because they're a superstar team, right? And then they're probably going to get either Americans. Demon or Bolter, mainly because of they're the only couple in the team, whereas they had Badosa, Tsitsipas, right, until they didn't. So maybe they'll go Demon or Bolter just because they want that couples that play together, win the mixed or whatever. So yeah, but it will depend on this week. I think a lot of it depends on this week. But those are the 3 teams I think they'll probably try and get. And if they can't get them, look, Mukova and Rublev are great players, but they're not I don't think they're the team that they're not as a high profile team as those other ones I mentioned. But then worst case, they can just get those doubles players, I don't understand why Cam is so misinformed about the schedule. Because it's confusing as hell. And it's 1 in the morning and I'm tired, bro. I'm doing my best. 15-0. What did my finger? Road rage incident. All right, 15-hole. As Gauff hits a winner, 30-15. Do you know when the draw comes out for the mixed doubles? No, I don't know. I think it should come out over the weekend because it starts on, I think, Tuesday. So it should come out over the weekend. All right, Gauff serves again. As the return goes to forehand of Gauff. Forehand now from Bronzetti in the net, 40-15. Wait until Sinner withdraws before releasing the draw, maybe. They can't release the draw the day before, though. I think that's too... Oh, maybe they could. Cincinnati Monday finals? Yeah. Yep, finals are on Monday. I think they're on during the day as well. I don't think they're in night finals. And if they are night finals, that makes sense because then Monday night, it's people can make the tennis. I'm sure there'll be one afternoon, one night. Probably starting at like 3 p.m. Like maybe the men's final, women's final at 3 p.m., men's final at 7 p.m. maybe. I'm not sure. That would kind of make sense though, right? Let me have a look if I can find out when the final is. So yeah, the men's singles final, 3 p.m. on Monday. So the men's finals on Monday, maybe the women's finals at night. Maybe that's the situation. No, they don't have a time for the women's final. It just says Monday. So yeah, I think it would go 3 p.m. Monday, men's final, and then women's final straight after that, whenever that is. So that's probably the schedule. What's 3 p.m. in Cincy? Is that a good time for me? Hey, 5 a.m. Yay! I get to sleep in. All right, love 15. As Gauff hits a forehand out. 15-all. Will Big Four Barbara win today? I'm excited to watch. I think the next match is exciting. Paolini versus Krejcikova is a very interesting match. Because Paolini, obviously one of the top 10 players going to the US Open, so keen to see how she looks. We haven't seen much of Paolini lately. We haven't watched much of her. And then, obviously, Krejcikova will be... The winner of that match, we got to start talking about what their chances are in New York, right? Because if Paolini wins, she'll play the winner of this match. Either way, they'll play the winner of this match. But if Paolini wins and gets to the quarterfinals here, and then we'll see what she does against, possibly Coco. Then we're going to start talking about where does Paolini fall in like the favorites, or like is she one of the best outside of the favorites? Where does she fall when it comes to talking like US Open chances? And then Krejcikova, if she wins, then we also have to talk about whether or not she's a dark horse, because we know what Krejcikova can do when she plays well for a solid whole tournament, right? And she's healthy, so it's gonna be fun. We're gonna figure, like, I love matches where we learn something. And we're going to learn something big. We're going to learn possibly who to pick outside the favorites to, maybe have a run at the US Open. We could find out of those two who's the pick, right? I mean, the pick's probably Raducanu, but she might be a favorite after this week. She beats Sabalenka. Raducanu's got to be top three, maybe. All right. Still a break point for Gauff. As the return goes into the forehand of Bronzetti. Gauff for the backhand. The forehand Bronzetti is Gauff backhand again. The forehand Bronzetti. Gauff for the backhand again. Bronzetti gets a slice, but it's in the net. There's the break. Gauff setting a break. Cruisy for Gauff. I tell you, she's playing much better than she was at the start of the week and last week too. She is having a great event. I'm going on Tuesday to the mixed doubles day. How are they going to fit all round 1 and 2 matches in 1 day? Because they're playing a fast 4 format or a short format, so they don't play full sets of tennis, which makes it a little bit quicker and easier for everybody. So they're probably going to be only like maybe 45 minute to an hour matches, maybe. So they can get through them pretty quickly. Is it best? It's best of 3 final set. Is it best of 3 with a super tiebreak? Is that how it works? Yeah. So it's no advantage score. So the matches could take 30 minutes, probably. They're doing a best of 3 sets with a 4-game set, no advantage, tiebreaks at 4-all, and 10-point tiebreak in a third set. So it's like the shortest format you could ever have. There's going to be matches that finish in like 15 minutes. Like I don't even know how we're going to stream this thing. We might just have to go and stream the whole thing. I mean, without having we can't really stream individual matches because they might be over in 20 minutes. Like, legitimately, somebody, you win 8 games, it's over. But it's going to be there's going to be some very, very quick matches. Like, we're going to have maybe 45 minutes to an hour per match. Possibly. All right, Bronzetti. She breaks back straight away. What the hell? All right. Sorry, I was yapping. All right. These are part of the US Open. Yeah, the mixed doubles is part of the US Open mixed doubles. It's it's a Grand Slam. It's a legitimate tournament, you know. Nothing like those 30-minute blockbusters. Yeah. I don't know how we're going to watch them, but I'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. All right. Gauff gives back the break. We're back on serve. As they film a bird flying around. I don't know about legitimate, but it's the official mixed doubles. Yeah, it's the official mixed doubles. They've changed the format. Yeah. I don't know, Chad. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of things are getting changed in tennis that nobody asked for. Does anyone else think that? Well, I get it when something doesn't work and they're like, we need to change, this thing that is not working. But I feel like they're making a lot of changes just in general to a lot of different things that we're like, why? It seems fine to me. They changed, they're making these tournaments longer. They're changing the mixed doubles. I mean, what other things have they changed? I mean, they're getting rid of all the lines people, which was probably inevitable, right? I mean, technology in the long run is probably going to be cheaper. and more efficient. I don't know. Kind of just like they're changing things that like I don't think the fans have really. I mean, do we like the changes? Do we want the changes? Do we not like the changes? What do you think? 15 all. And Bronzetti serves again. And Gauff hits a return wide. Yeah, players complain about the season being too long. What about that? Yeah, I mean that's definitely been a conversation as well, right? Changes to the grounds in Cincinnati look nice. At least that's a positive change. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that is a positive change. The renovations of that. Also, Sunday starts. That's been a change, right, this year, where they're starting Grand Slams on a Sunday. Not every slam. Wimbledon's holding out, but I think if Wimbledon eventually upgrade to the bigger facility and they expand, they'll probably get to 15 days too, right? All right, 30-0. As Bronzetti goes down the line, Gauff gets it back. 4-0 from Bronzetti is a winner, 40-30. The change is good. I've never watched a single mixed doubles match, but I'll tune in now. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the interest for it is definitely that's part of the success of it, right? It's definitely brought a lot more interest to the event. No doubt about it. All right, Gauff hits a return winner. We get back to deuce. Yeah, Wimbledon, they already added the middle Sunday. Yeah, true. Only changes that make sense, like electronic line calling, super tiebreak at 6-all in Grand Slams, etc. Well, yeah, that's another thing, right? I mean, final set tiebreaks in all Grand Slams, that's been a new-ish thing, right? I mean, if you watch tennis in 2019, it looks a lot different, not just because the players, but, not just because, players have retired since then, but like you watch the whole tennis season in 2019, it looks a lot different than now, Like tennis has definitely changed a lot in the last 5 years. Not just the names we watch, not just because Federer and Nadal retired and Serena, the way we watch tennis, the way it looks is totally it seems totally not totally different, but it seems a lot different. There's a lot of changes. Like you look in 2019, it feels like it was 40 years ago, like a lifetime ago. Nothing Major podcast had Toronto tournament director. He mentioned the length of the tournament is going to be discussed during the meetings at the US Open. Yeah. I heard that too. But I gotta be honest, I'm not really I don't think they're going to talk about, I very much doubt that they're going to be so we're going to discuss whether or not we should go back to a week. I don't think they're going to say that. I think they're going to probably talk about the success of it and how much revenue it made compared to last year and maybe come up with a if anybody's complaining about 2-week Masters, to come up with a good answer to why it's good. Oh, well, it made more money and we had more people coming to the tennis. That's a good thing. I don't think they're going to discuss whether or not it goes back to 1 week. They might be so was it successful? Yeah, it made more money. That's success, right? That's the part of the success of 2-week Masters is how much more revenue it makes, right? That's definitely one of the factors. And then next year it'd be how do we get Alcaraz and Sinner to play? That'll be the next, how do we get everybody to play? I don't think they'll discuss whether or not they go back to 1 week. Because if they go back to 1 week, they'll lose a couple of days, which will lose a couple of days worth of, money, all that stuff, right? So I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're going to discuss whether or not in 2026 it's going to stay. It's going to stay the same. It'll be a 2-week Master next week or next year. I don't think they're going to change the format back. The ATP, I don't think will reverse the not for a while. I think they're going to try this out for at least some time because it's never going to work in 1 year. It's going to, and also fans, us, we have to get used to this, right? This is something that we have to get used to Cincinnati being played on a Monday. We have to get used to Canada being a Thursday final. I think if they do it once and it doesn't work, it's not enough to just do it once. They're going to have to let's do it 5 years. And then if we'll see if the fans can adjust, right? I think that's part of it. And also if the players decide to play, I think that's another part of it. They're not going to just do a one and done. They're going to probably keep it so that they you got to have at least 5, probably 3 to 5 events before you can make an actual decision whether or not it's good or not. So I get that from them. I understand that. We don't have to like it, but I understand it. As Gauff, it's a wide 40-30. 2-week Masters aren't going anywhere. But maybe they could work on ending the season a little different. Yeah. And look, I understand why 2-week Masters have to be the way they are because the Grand Slams are not going to move. Because tennis is a bit fragmented that way. So we get to deuce. As Gauff serves. An ace down the tee. Advantage Gauff. If the ATP and WTA could move the US Open, they would. They would move if they could move it back a week, so that way they have an extra week to have the Cincinnati, Canada to have a little bit more breathing room. They totally would, but they don't. So they have to play within the weeks between. They have, Wimbledon's they're not moving, and the US Open are not moving. So you've only got X amount of weeks in the middle of those two events to kind of play with. If you're the ATP, so and the WTA, so I get that. That's it's not easy. They're trying to do the best they can with what they have. As that goes in there from Gauff back to deuce. So I totally understand. Why the reason why they have to do a Monday final, or they have to do a Thursday final. You can only fit. You can only work it so many ways. And they would have gone through, they probably would have approached the US Open and said, hey, can you move a week back so we can fit this? And they probably went, nah, we're not moving. We have to play here because of, other sports or whatever. Maybe eventually, maybe the ATP and WTA can convince the US Open or the USTA to go back 1 week just to kind of make it better. Especially, I tell you, they might, they have a good argument if the players are not able to play the US Open because everything's a little bit too much. Maybe the US Open go, okay, well, if we move back a week, we're more likely to get all the best players playing. So maybe there is some negotiations available if the withdrawal list is long for the US Open, they might be if we push it back a week, then gives more time for the players, which means we might get those players to play. So maybe there is a little bit of negotiation leverage or something, All right. As Gauff goes back to deuce with an error. Gauff was cruising. Now she's in a bit of trouble here. Yeah, I think, is it next year? Next year they've got an extra week, I think, between Wimbledon and the US Open. So I think next year, these events might be a little less, cramped. I think next year they might have an extra week, which will do wonders for these events. I think. I read it somewhere that they have next week. The schedule works to be a little bit more flexible. As that goes out by Gauff, and it's advantage Bronzetti. And Chad, I'll tell you this, again, I'm trying to be very optimistic about all this. But we also asked for longer grass season, and they gave us an extra week of grass. So something's got to give somewhere else down the line. If we want more grass court, then we're going to have to also deal with this, right? Wimbledon already, have moved a week to give us an extra grass week, so 3 weeks of grass instead of 2, because like 10 years ago, it was only 2 weeks of grass, and then Wimbledon, right? So if we want more grass, and push Wimbledon back, then the US Open series is going to be, they're going to suffer. So we can't have all of it. We have to also, there's not enough weeks in the year, to do all of these things. As with a backhand down the line from Bronzetti, back to deuce. As Bronzetti forehand again, the forehand of Gauff. Into the forehand of Bronzetti. As Gauff forehand again to the forehand of Bronzetti. As Gauff goes the backhand of Bronzetti, again the backhand of Gauff. As Bronzetti on the stretch gets it, but Gauff with a forehand cross-court winner. Too good. Coco, too good. The US Open has the advantage of Labor Day weekend. It's a long weekend, so many for the US. Is that like in the middle of the tournament? Yeah, I think we're really not going to get a grass 1000. If we want that, they'd have to get rid of... grass 1000, 2 weeks? Because that's what they all are right now. How do we get a 2-week grass 1000? There's not enough time. We can't have it all. Also, they're going down the Saudi route, so they're going to Saudi Arabia instead of playing, instead of upgrading a Queen's Club or whatever. So, yeah. So, everybody wants a grass... All the fans want a grass 1000, but the tournaments are going to... They're investing in the Middle East, right? So, I don't think we're getting a grass 1000 anytime soon. Why is the grass season so short? A few reasons. One because it's like this. It's the only nobody else plays on grass, so it's like, why extend the grass season when it's like such a small part of the it's 5 weeks. Grass is hard to maintain, so you can't have like a clay season like a grass season like clay, right? Because grass won't last. If you have like a 3-month grass season, it's probably it's way too much maintenance, and it just wouldn't, or it's even 2 months, right? It just doesn't, by the time we get to the last tournament, the grass will be dead. So there's not enough time. Also the weather, where they play the grass events, England and stuff, the weather's not great. So they got to deal with that, which again, part of the ruins the grass, trying to maintain the grass, So, yeah. And it's such a specialized surface these days because of, back in the, 60 years ago, grass was all around, right? We had grass at like 3 slams were on grass. But these days, it's like such a specialized thing. And again, mainly because, if Wimbledon wasn't the biggest tournament in the world, Wimbledon might have changed. Let's say Roland Garros was the best event in the world. Like that was the Wimbledon of our world. Wimbledon might have gone to hard courts. The grass might have, because they did that in Australia, they did it in New York. They changed it from grass to hard courts, right? But because Wimbledon is Wimbledon, it's never going to change, and it shouldn't change. I think grass, we need that. Grass is a good. It's a reminder. It's a great reminder of what tennis. Like a reminder of what tennis used to be, what tennis used to look like. And if we got rid of that, that's a huge part of tennis history that we just completely cut off. So we need grass, at least for like 5 weeks to be like, oh yeah, this is what they used to play on back in 60 years ago. A lot of people played on this. So yeah, so that a couple of reasons why. There's Gauff in the net, 15 love. The time between Roland Garros and Australian Open is too long and should shorten by having Roland Garros earlier. It's like 5 months between Australian Open and Roland Garros. Yeah, but that's because of the seasons, of the weather seasons. Like Australian Open's in January because Australia is in summer in January. And then France and England, you can't have, those tournaments can't be played, well, they can because we saw the French Open in October once, but those tournaments can't be played earlier because it's not hot enough. It's too cold. It's wet. It's, the weather sucks. If you play the French Open in April, the weather's, we watch Rome and Madrid and Monte Carlo in April and it rains and it's cold. So they want to put Roland Garros and Wimbledon in the nicest weather they can. Part of the reason. Maybe there's summer holidays as well in France, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, they bring the French Open forward. It's going to be cold, miserable, 40-15. All right. 40-30. Anyways. Bronzetti serves again. Into the backhand and Gauff in the net. 3-all. 3-all. 3 games all. Serve again. And the return from Bronzetti goes long. 15 love. There's a bit of forehand from Gauff. Into the forehand of Bronzetti. Gauff with the forehand again. Bronzetti on the attack. Hits a winner. 15-all. As Gauff serves an ace, 30-15. Are there any ATP events that are gone that you want to come back? I would really like to see the ATP event in Tel Aviv come back. Not really. Not that I could think of. As a return goes in the backhand of Gauff. Forehand now from Bronzetti. It's Gauff forehand into the forehand of Bronzetti. Gauff with the backhand of Bronzetti. There's Gauff backhand again. Goes down the line for a winner. 40-15. The only one that comes to mind is the Newport Hall of Fame Open that used to be after Wimbledon. That was I know it got downgraded. It's still around, but I feel like that was a big deal. That felt, because the Hall of Fame is obviously a big deal. So I kind of missed that one. Not that we watched it, but I kind of think that one, a lot of people, I think when that got downgraded was a bit confused, because it felt like that was that was always, not that it was part of the grass season necessarily. It was sort of like an afterthought, but I kind of think that event had some significance because of it being at the Hall of Fame. Tennis Hall of Fame, it was like a showcase, I kind of, and didn't they used to pair up the Hall of Fame inductions and the tournament, right? So it was sort of they need to make that event somewhere else in the season though, maybe after the US Open they should do that event, bring it back and put it after the US, and then after the US Open we do a Hall of Fame induction, because I'll tell you what, Chad, what we lack at the Hall of Fame inductions is we lack players like current players going to that event. Can you imagine, chat, if after the US Open, or, even before anyway, after the US Open when there's nothing else going on, we have that event, but we also have a Hall of Fame induction, and all the current players get to go to it, and we get to see like all the current players honoring, Sharapova going into the Hall of Fame. Like, though we don't, it feels like we don't see that. Like all the Hall of Fames, or like whenever you see a Hall of Fame ceremony, it's always past players or current Hall of Fame inductees. You never see any current players go there and watch. Maybe it'll be different when Serena and Roger and Rafa and Novak get in, but I would love that. I think it would be such a great, that's something that tennis doesn't do properly. Like every other sport, when it comes to All-Star games and Hall of Fame, tennis, we don't do it properly. We don't do it as good as them. We don't do it as good as basketball. All the Americans. America is how you do Hall of Fame, UFC. Like they do it so much better than us. We don't know how to do Hall of Fame. We don't know how to do the ceremonies. We know how to induct play. I love that the Hall of Fame is. I'm not questioning how they bring people in, but it could be so much bigger. It's such an after. It doesn't feel like it's a big deal. We're like, oh yeah, that person was really good at tennis. Cool, but we could do such a spectacle of it. We could make it a thing, but they don't do it. So anyway, Hall of Fame Open, I think, would be like bring that back. Bring back Newport. Also, the significance of that event, that venue, right? It's kind of been lost. Other than that, though, I mean, I'm not really. Tournaments come and go, it happens. I kind of as an Australian, miss the Hopman Cup in Australia, but United Cup is like that anyway. It's like that anyway. The same is a bigger version of that anyway, right? None of the current top players go to the event. Yeah, exactly, which is crazy. Maybe they're not invited, but like, how do we not have like current, past? Like, I feel like it's such a great opportunity to see. Like, can you imagine the photo opportunities we'd have and the interactions we'd see as fans when we get the current players that are like, the Sinners and Alcaraz and Sabalenkas and Swiateks and Coco Gauffs, and we see them interacting with the legends of the past? Like what a great interaction that would be. We don't get to see that unless like Agassi goes to the Australian Open, or someone's at the US Open and they kind of cross paths. Billie Jean King's there, right? It would be so cool to see like past and current players all going to a Hall of Fame event to induct somebody, and it becomes a huge thing. And then we see all those like those little interactions, like we see I don't know, name two players, one current, one former player, just talking. Like Leighton Hewitt having a chat with Carlos Alcaraz, right? I'd love that. That would be awesome. Or Ben Shelton having a chat with, I don't know, who else is, like Jimmy Connors. Like that would be so cool. That'd be such a great idea. That ball guy is massive. By the way, chat, these are not ball kids. They are adults. That's why they look like giants, because they're adults. That guy's like 7 foot tall. What the hell? Anyways, that's my idea. The only person that's going to make this happen though is Andy Roddick. So if Andy Roddick, if your producers are watching, or he's not watching, he's got better things to do. But if anyone who works on the Andy Roddick podcast, you need to pass on this message that we the fans want a Hall of Fame. Proper Hall of Fame ceremony with past and current players. You need to float the idea and pretend like you said it. You tell Andy, and then Andy can bring it up on his podcast, because that's when we start getting things moving. If he speaks, then things might happen. We got nothing. We're just the fans. We're trying to make things happen, but we got no power. Andy's got the power. We need him to start talking about it, because then it might happen. So if you are watching, pass on the message. We, the fans, would like a Hall of Fame ceremony that is much better than it is. A UFC style where you got past and current players. Broadcast it to the world. Stream it live. Because why not? We'd all watch it. And then Andy can bring it up on the podcast, and then we can go from there. See, this is how we get things done. We got pass the message on so then Andy can... He's like the middleman for us. We've got to try and get him off. We've got to try and get him talking about it. 15 love. Andy trying to promote the Hall of Fame? Yeah, exactly. But like, I feel like promoting it's one thing, but like, if we want to, like, who cares about reinventing mixed doubles? Reinvent the Hall of Fame. Anyways, 30 love. 4-0 here. All right, 30 love as Gauff serves again. There's double fault from Gauff, 30-15. We should try to get you and Andy to... Look. Andy Roddick's got better things to do than talk to some random guy on YouTube. All right? Andy's got to talk to Andre Agassi, right? Look. I know there's a lot of people on this channel, and I'm very proud of that. But I'm also not delusional to think that me and Andy Roddick have anything... We are even close to level. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, Andy is like... he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Grand Slam champion, former world number one. Everything I've done, I am a qualified architect. Right? All right, 30-0. I have a bachelor's degree in design, right? And again, I'm very proud of our chat, what we've created here and the community we've got, but I'm not delusional. Andy's talking to Andre. He's talking to Swiatek, right? He's not talking to, it doesn't make sense to have me talk to me. I would love that, but it doesn't make sense for him. I mean, and that's okay. So we've got to try and like put out some ideas and then see what happens. Maybe someone's listening and maybe things happen, Anyways, 40-30. That's all we can do, chat. We can just come up with ideas and maybe somebody takes it and does something with it. Yeah, he's got there. We got Maria Sharapova. Like, come on, and that's good. I'd rather him talk to the. He has access to the best players ever. Why would he waste an hour? Like, why would he? There's no point in talking to having doing a podcast with me. Like, I got nothing to add. All right, 5-4. You've got more subs than him. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. And again, I'd rather him talk, try and get the best players in the world to talk, because he's the only one. Him and maybe Caroline Garcia. They're the only two that seem to be able to get interviews with the best, and not just interviews with on the pod, on a like the Tennis Channel do interviews, but it's like a TV thing. He's the only one that can get do a 2-hour conversation with Rafa. Like, no one else has done that with Rafa recently. No one. He is the only one that could do that. So he should do that. He should you know what I'm saying, chat? Why waste a podcast talking to a YouTuber than and a streamer when he could be talking to Roger? I'd rather him talk to Roger. That's much better for all of us. Much better. Is it just me, or does Coco actually get easy draw more often? I mean, maybe. Easy draw than what? Like compared to who? All right. Bronzetti serving to stay in the match. As that goes in the net. Double fault, sorry, from Bronzetti. Love 15. Love 15. As we get a fault, second serve. Is it a forehand out of the backhand of Bronzetti? And Bronzetti hits out, love 30. By the way, chat, to the two people that got 600 and 900 scores on this Grand Slam leaderboard, we're never playing this game again. So you've just ruined it. Just be proud. I hope you're proud of yourself. We're not playing that game again. It's now officially been ruined. I'm going to have to come up with a new game. Anyways, backhand return into the forehand of Gauff as we had a backhand out from Bronzetti. That's a winner. And it's 15-30. Yeah, someone got 920. I don't want to play anymore. That's it. I'm done. That game is officially over, and I'm not giving anyone any. We're not playing that game anymore. You ruined it. You ruined it. That is sad. Yeah, it is sad. It was fun, but then now it's I'm bored. I don't want to play anymore. Yeah, I am that kid. I am that kid that's losing and was like, no, I don't want to play anymore. But seriously, that's a ridiculous score. Congratulations, but also now you've just ruined it for everybody else. Like nobody's wants to play that game anymore. Where's your competitive spirit? Anyways, 15-40. I got better things to do. We'll do something else. As the backhand return goes, the backhand of Bronzetti sliced into the forehand of Gauff. There's Bronzetti forehand. Into the forehand of Gauff. It's Bronzetti again with a forehand. Gauff goes down, cross court again. Bronzetti gets it back, hits it out. There it is. Gauff wins. Solid. I wouldn't say it was great from Gauff. She needs to play better against the next player, but pretty good. Very solid performance. And she now has to play either Paolini or Krejcikova, who are going to play in about 30 minutes. So let's see what happens. Coco just kind of cruising through the draw. The last couple of, she got a day off as well, but GG's. By the way, we've got about 30 minutes, so we can just chill for a bit until the next match anyway. So there we go. Good win. Nice to see Coco playing well. Because last week was concerning. It was, for everybody. She was double folding a lot. She was not looking like she was having fun. So now at least, everything is. She seems to be back on track. If you're leaving, don't forget to subscribe. How do you get 900 plus without cheating or using AI? Yeah, that's why I don't want to play anymore, because it's just like, it was fun, right? It was fun when we're kind of playing and we're trying to, I got to figure out a better way to play, like a different way to play, or play something else. Because it's just too easy to, it's too easy to cheat, and I'm not saying the person got 900, faked it, but it's also like, who knows? Nobody knows. You could sit there if you have a whole 12 hours, you could sit there and just go, okay, who's got more? This person, okay. Like you could eat, it's so easy to just kind of cheat. So I don't want to play anymore. It was fun, and now it's not fun. So we'll do something else next time it rains. That person has way too much time with that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just kind of ruined it. Like looking at the leaderboard, it's like somebody got 936, somebody got 632, and it's like, cool. Congrats. It's just kind of boring. Like now, you know what I mean, chat? Like it's just not fun. It's more. It was more competitive when it was like, but now it's just like, I don't know. Maybe we can make it better somehow. I don't know. Or I'll just find something else. We'll find something else to do. Because I don't really want to get like I don't want to. I could try and get 1,000, but also like on stream, I don't have I don't want to do 7 hours of playing the same game, so we'll do something else. Yeah, disappointing. Nah, it's not even fun to do do it because every time I know that this is my own fault for for playing it on stream, because if I hadn't played it, then it wouldn't have made a difference. Like nobody would have known about it. But so it's my own fault for playing it and people finding it and playing it and But I don't really want to play in September because then somebody else is just gonna come in and be like, oh, I got higher than you. I got 900. Because now I just don't care. It just ruined it. It ruined it for everybody. It's just not fun anymore. It was much more fun when it was like, let's try and get to 100. But now it's just like, We might play it once every never, but I'm not going to, I don't really care. Ruined it. It has now been ruined. They took the joy out of it. Yeah. It was fun when it was like, ooh, can we try and get the top score? But now it's just like, no, we can't get the top score. It's way too hard. Way too hard. Because somebody just sat there for like 8 hours to get that high score. Like, there's no, like, I don't have time for this. But congrats. Whoever it was, congratulations. And we're going to play. I'm going to figure out another game. Don't worry, I've got other ideas. We got other things we can do. Coco in 2 as expected. Roland champ. Yeah, she played solid today. She played solid. All right, see you later, Bradley. To be fair, people were moaning that Swiatek had an easy draw at Wimbledon. Yeah, I mean, the draw always looks easier when we look back at it for some players, but, when the draw came out, no one had an easy draw. I mean, Coco had to play Yastremska, right? And that was tough. But because Yastremska withdrew, it made it look easier than it was. I mean, Gauff's still got to play Krejcikova or Paolini tomorrow. That's not easy. But yeah, okay. 2 qualifiers and a low seed. Yeah, okay. But Pegula was there. Towson was there. Bencic was there. Navarro, Kenin, Mukova. I mean, it wasn't an easy draw until they lost. Now it's easy. Easier. But she could still have to play Paolini, and Paolini beat her last time they played, so Paolini's no easy win. So don't get confused. Paolini isn't going to be a walk in the park or Krejcikova, right? So it's only easy in hindsight. And same with Swiatek. Swiatek's draw wasn't easy until players started losing and she didn't have to play Raducanu. She didn't have to play Penko, or she didn't have to play, Sabalenka, right? It got easier because players lost. Swiatek had a tough draw until she didn't. So it's not that they got easy draws. It's just that it worked out for them. It worked out well. It's worked out well so far. Why is Gauff good on fast hard courts and not on grass? Seems like the grip isn't a thing here in Cincinnati. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because Gauff. I mean, I think this year the reason why Gauff didn't do well at Wimbledon is because she had a bad draw. Yastremska first round is a nightmare for anyone. But also, I think that the fact that she won the French, she went back to America, did all those interviews, came back to Europe. then had to play some warm-ups, didn't play great in the warm-up, and then went to Wimbledon with no preparation. Like, her preparation was so bad that she just wasn't... I don't think she was ready for Wimbledon. And then she got a terrible draw. So, there's a lot of reasons why Gauff didn't do well this year. But also, like I said this with Swiatek. I think last year and the year before, I said the best chance for Swiatek to win Wimbledon is if she doesn't win the French. And that's what happened this year, coincidentally. Because the people that win the French Open want to celebrate that, but then they also don't really have time to celebrate because they've got to play the next tournament. And the next tournament's on a totally different surface, and you've got to change so much of your game to adjust. And that's why the Channel Slam is so hard. And that's why it's such a big deal, for somebody to do that. So Alcaraz doing it last year, kind of was like, oh yeah, we've seen this already. But it's very hard to do. I think Djokovic has done it once. Nadal's done it a couple of times. It's very hard to do the Channel Slam. So Alcaraz made the finals under a good excuse. Yeah, that's what are you not listening? That's why what Alcaraz does is crazy. Swiatek's not Alcaraz. Well, yeah, that's again, yeah. I mean, Gauff won the French and didn't win a match on grass. So didn't play well at Wimbledon. So like, when was the last time the Channel Slam was done on the women's side? It hasn't been done. When was the last time it's been done on the men's side? Alcaraz? I think Djokovic only just did it recently. Rafa. And Roger. Like, we're talking about the greatest players of all time, and Alcaraz, who's, going to be a top 10, at least minimum top 10 best of all time, right? So, we can't compare anybody to them. That's crazy. Oh, well, Rafa did it. Yeah, okay, Rafa did it. Yeah. So it was easy, right? Rafa did it. What are we talking about? Serena did it? Yeah, I think, Serena did it as well. But again, we're talking, Serena did it. Oh, okay. No excuse. Everybody else should do it. Like, what are we talking? Serena. Steffi did it. Margaret Court. Okay, we're talking about the greatest players of all time. Okay. When was the last time somebody who hasn't got 10 slams did it? Besides Alcaraz, who's like, going to get there. When was the last time someone below, like, I'm trying to think, Borg? No, he's got more than 10 slams. Agassi didn't do it. Sampras didn't do it. Anyone, who's Jimmy Connors? No, he got banned from the French the year that he won Wimbledon as well, right? Mac didn't do it. Becker didn't do it. Edberg? No. Venus? No. Like, I can't think of who did it. Who was a player that was under 10 slams that has done the Channel Slam? I don't know if we can name anybody. I can't think of anybody besides Alcaraz right now. Chad, come on, help me out. Sinner almost did it, true, but he didn't do it. So yeah, it's. I mean, I could just Google it because that's the beauty of the internet. Where the hell is it? The Korea Super Slam. Djokovic has that. Non-calendar Grand Slam. I can't find it. Here we go. 11 players have completed the Channel Slam in the history of 11 players, man and women. Rod Laver, obviously. Margaret Court. Billie Jean King. Chris Evert. Bjorn Borg. Martina Navratilova. Steffi Graf. Serena. Rafa. Roger, Novak. And now Carlos, right? Last year, Alcaraz. So, like, 12 players have done it in the history of the game. And I just mentioned, like, pretty much every top 5 player. Like, we're talking about the top 5 of all time. We're talking Serena, Navratilova, Steffi, Everett, Margaret Court. They're like the best ever. And then Billie Jean King, who's probably not far behind those 5 when it comes to, like, impact and, you know, all those things. And then on the men's side, you know, I just named the 3 greatest players of all time. And Rod Laver. The only one missing from that list is Pete Sampras. He's the only one that we consider a top 5 great that didn't do it. Out of pretty much men and women, right? So again, it's so hard to do. It's so difficult. Which is why it's such a shame that last year we kind of just like bypassed it. Like, yeah, okay. But we also had the Olympics. So we kind of like, oh, Wimbledon, okay, whatever. Oh, Alcaraz won the Channel Slam. Okay, but can he win a gold medal, though? Can he win that? Like, we kind of we just kind of walked over that, really. We just really didn't give a shit. Which is a shame, because it was the 12th player to do it in the Open era. And we didn't even give it 2 seconds of celebration. Also, I think it's because we all got I think we're all so annoyed how bad the final was compared to the year before that we're all just kind of like bummed out that Djokovic wasn't as competitive. It's like, well, that final was boring. I know Alcaraz did something amazing, but I'm like, it was kind of boring. So I think it sucks. And if he does it again, I'm sure we'll give it more celebration. But Cam Center's favorite tennis player is Leighton Hewitt. It sure is. Love Leighton. This channel wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Leighton Hewitt. Sampras didn't even reach the Roland Garros final. Yeah. 2023 final was so good last year. It was mid. Yep. This year was good. Not as good as 23, but it was still good. Um... 2-0 head-to-head doesn't mean anything in today's match. I agree. I think Sinner FAA, the 2 matches they played were like 3 years ago when Sinner wasn't close. And also 2022 Felix, if we remember, was at the moment was his best. You know, Felix in 22 remember he won like 3 titles in a row and made the ATP finals. Was that 22, right? Where are the Canadians? Where are you Canadians at? Where are you at? So 2 years ago was, yeah. Krejcikova's 2-0 against Gauff. Well, that does matter because they played last year, right? Krejcikova won last year, so that's relevant. We're waiting for Krejcikova Palini. It's coming up in about 20 minutes. That's why we're just hanging out. Fed could have done it 5 times, but Nadal said no. I know, right? And you could say the opposite. I mean, Nadal could have done it a bunch of times, but Federer said no, right? Both things are true. They both ruined each other's chances of winning the Channel Slam multiple times. Look at the head-to-head between Swiatek and Gauff and Swiatek and Sabalenka. I think both Gauff and Sabalenka beaten Swiatek recently. Yeah, they have. If the overall head-to-head only matters if the last couple of matches have been, you know, and obviously surface matters, but like Gauff-Swiatek, if they played this week, I don't think we'd be looking at the head-to-head going, oh, well, she's gonna lose because Gauff's won the last couple of matches, right? You know, so the head-to-head can also be a little bit deceiving. You just got to, make sure when you look at the head-to-head, you look at when the matches were and what surface the matches were played. Because FAA 2-0 is a good record. That's a great record against Sinner, but it wasn't like he beat him recently. 2-0 against Sinner in 2025 is amazing. In 2022, it's good, but it's also kind of irrelevant if you I wouldn't pick against Sinner based on the head-to-head. Jim Courier made the final of Wimbledon and he won Roland Garros, made the final of Wimbledon, I think in 93. Again, chat, there's so many players in tennis, chat, that we all know, we're like, oh yeah, they're good. But like how good they were and how good they could have been had, certain players not been around. We all talk about Andy Murray, but like there is an Andy Murray in so many eras of tennis on the men and women's side. I don't even know who the Andy Murray of the 70s is, but I'm sure there's someone. I'm sure there's someone in the 70s that made a lot of finals that didn't get the titles because of Connors, Laver, Newcomb, like because of the ones who won the slams denied them. There's probably someone who won 2 titles, but they made 10 finals, right? And Jim Courier is sort of that Andy Murray of the 90s, because if it wasn't for Agassi, if it wasn't for Sampras, Jim would have had more slams. He won 4, but he made a lot more finals where he was denied by those guys. So, and then Lindsay Davenport is the ladies' version in the 2000s, because she should have had 8 to 12 slams, but Serena and Venus, she's only got 3, which is wild because she's so much better than 3. But again, that's what happens. There's always a couple of players from each era that don't get the amount of slams that we all think. I mean, Andy Roddick has 1. That is criminal. He should have at least 4. But Roger, Roger said, no, you are not allowed to have 4. I'm taking your 4, and then I'm going to win 20 because I'm greedy. Same with Leighton. He should have had more, but Roger was greedy, and I'll never forgive Roger for that 2004 final. So cool. Anyways, enough about me crying about the past. Let's get to the next match, because we've got Paolini versus Krejcikova. It was 20 years ago. We'll get over it. I'm over it. 21 years ago. Whatever. Leighton won the US Open anyway. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Nobody cares. Shut up. I'm over it. Anyways, Paolini, Krejcikova. We're going to find out who's going to play Gauff in the quarterfinals. But good win by Gauff. 6-2, 6-4. Only the 3 double faults. She's cleaned her serve up the last couple of matches and been a lot better since, maybe adapting to the hard courts a bit better. After Canada was a little bit shaky, but she's looking good, Coco. We're going to find out who she's going to play next, so make sure you stick around.